We'll start off with, how do most people make a decision? What do you guys think?
Well, I guess before the decision has to be made, there's got to be some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't know. Think about it, count to three, I guess, before any...
Pros and cons.
Weigh out the pros and cons.
Pros and cons,
Nice
yeah.
little pros and cons list.
Into the
I'm a big
consequences.
lister.
Yeah.
Oh, I make lists for everything.
For making decisions quickly, do you think it's like more of an impulse thing, like trusting your gut?
Yeah.
I usually go gut feeling.
Gut feeling?
Yeah, right on the
Yeah.
dot. My decisions are made pretty quick.
Yeah. Is it easier to make decisions with other people around you?
No, probably makes it
depends.
harder. Because they probably
Yeah.
like sway your opinion.
Yeah,
well,
friends definitely can sway your opinions.
Yeah.
Can you guys give an example of what would, like a hard decision if your friends are there, or versus the easy one? You guys think of anything? Personal experiences?
Yeah. Actually, came up today because me and my buddies were talking about going little rock, cliff jumping thing. We were looking at all the pictures and stuff, and one of our buddies was saying how high it was and how he was getting all scared and up top. And I've been a couple of times with my friends, my other group of friends, and just being up top 60 feet. That's a decision. My buddies are jumping off, and it's just I don't know, am I doing this or not? And then you got someone in your ear oh, come on, man, it's not that high. You can do it. I mean, I did it, but.
Why do you think that some people always end up making bad decisions?
People, if they're friends with the wrong people, I would say most people actually go to their friends for advice, and friends with the wrong people tend to make the wrong decisions.
It's all about who you're surrounded with.
Do you think consequences, like punishments, make an impact on decision making?
For some people.
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
Because if you know there's a consequence, doing something bad, you're more likely to not do it. But then if there's if they're oh, nothing's gonna happen if you do it, you're probably just gonna do it for the hell of it.
But it also depends on the situation as well as who you're interacting with during the decision-making process. If you surround yourself with those people who have some sort of bad influence over you, you're most likely going to follow through with the wrong decision, and those consequences, you'll pay no mind to them if you have that backing behind you saying, do it. Whereas if you have a good backing behind you, and you know what the consequences are, you're more likely to make that correct decision of, no, I'm not going to do it this weekend.
So do you think that motivates someone to choose, whether it's having the peer pressure to do it or just the consequences? I mean, it could be either one.
It could.
You know the consequences, but you're having your friends or whatever egg you on.
Through personal experience and from watching my own friends growing up, peer pressure definitely has some sort of influence over decision making nowadays during this generation.
Yeah, I also think that it's fitting in has a big thing to do with that. If everyone's doing it and you're not really the most social or cool person around, but you'll jump in and do whatever anybody else is doing just to be with the group.
If there's someone who is somewhat of a social outcast or someone who's not really fitting in at the moment and wants to, they're most likely to be taking the risk in the end because they want to feel welcome, they want to feel involved, they want to feel like they're part of the group, and they'll do anything it takes to make sure that they reach that status, even if it does have a dangerous consequence in the end of it.
If it's always the bad decision that's oh, okay, if I do this bad decision, I'm going to fit in. Is it the friends' influence on it?
Oh, well, I want to go here, but I want somebody to come with me. I'm not going to go alone. That's weird, even though it's really not.
Right.
But people kind of just think
Yeah,
I need people to be with me in order to be cool.
They're afraid of being judged.
That's good.
Shut up.
No,
because the social norm right now is to do everything in groups. Doing something by yourself, you're kind of considered, oh, you're a loner, or oh, why doesn't he have someone around with you? Whereas, exactly. Whereas if you have like that group around you, it feels like you're kind of stronger and you have a more, what's the word I'm looking for? You have more of an influence over what you're going to do with your life because you know you have that group behind you to back you up somewhat to a certain point.
I mean, would you have done something that you thought was a good experience if it wasn't for a friend?
Well, I mean, I have this like lacrosse team that I'm going to try out for, and I have work and everything going on. And my friends told me to really do it because it can help me out for like next season. And they said it's a lot of fun and you like learn a lot from it. And I'm just like trying to weigh out the pros and cons. And most of it, like my mind's going toward doing it because they're like helping me out and trying to get me into it.
Like going into freshman year, I wasn't gonna try out for field hockey until one of my friends was like, "Oh, well, like I'm doing it, so why don't you just do it with me? Like it'll be fun." So I was like, "Okay, like let's do it." And I did it, and now she ended up quitting, and I ended up staying on the team. And now we're seniors, and I'm a captain, so it's just kind of like it all worked out for the good.
I remember when I was in high school, we had just moved down to the shore, and I was still making friends down here, or trying to make a good group of friends down here. And someone that I had gone to elementary school with suggested I check out St. Mark's youth group. and through that, I actually stayed with the program. I joined it towards the end of my freshman year of high school and stayed with it all through high school and ended up becoming co-president of it my senior year. And it was probably one of the best experiences because not only did it help me grow in my faith, it also helped me form a good friendship with others who believed in the same morals that I believed in, as well as it helped me continue my love and passion for community service. So I was able to kind of do it all through finding something because a friend told me to join us.
Now we'll move on to family. So what do you guys value most about your family?
I just value them, just to have them, just like grateful to have my mom, my brother, and my sister, and just like their presence being around. There's both of them. My sister graduated from college last year. My brother was a freshman, and it was just me and my mom alone for a good deal of time, like a year, and them both being home now for this summer, first time in a while. It's been great already.
I'd say personally, my brother, he's older than me also, and he's just always good to have because he's at college, but I'll like call him if I have a big decision to make because he's like my role model, and he's always the one that I rely on first to help me out.
Family's that one thing that's there no matter what. So when all hell breaks loose and you are in the midst of changing friends, losing friends, when you're like down in the dumps and like, you know, maybe college isn't going right or your classes aren't going right, you always have something to fall back on. And that's that stable support that's there through thick and thin, no matter what. You know, they say you can't choose your family, you choose your friends, but the family is always there, no matter what. And that's good.
Family definitely is the biggest support system in my life. I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be where I am today without my family and their support.
What have you guys learned from your parents that is always with you? So one thing that you constantly have on like
Well, I kind of learned like from my dad that like no matter what you do, like what you do doesn't really define who you are. Like you could do like a million bad things, but that doesn't make you like a bad person.
I've learned like from my mom, you really shouldn't like judge things off other people. Like if I get like a bad grade on a test, I'd be like, oh, but the smartest kid in the class got like a terrible grade. And she always says, I don't care what other people do, I care about what you do and like how you're doing.
Okay, what annoys you most about your family?
My mom always wants to FaceTime me.
I love you, Mom. My mom, when I first started college, would make me call her once a day, every morning, just to make sure that I was alive because I was having a somewhat awful experience towards the beginning. And we still do it. Like, I just became so routine that don't care about it anymore. Like, I don't mind calling her, and I'll end up calling her like 2 or 3 times or 4 times that day. But that first beginning, like when I was just starting school, it was a little annoying. I'm like, oh, I gotta call Mom again today. Like, let her know everything's fine, made it through the night.
Because she thinks that you're dead in a ditch somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what she tells me, yeah. She's like, if you don't text me in the morning, I assume that you're dead in a ditch. Yeah, so she has a lot of confidence. A lot of confidence in me. Yeah.
So always call them when you go to college. Or wherever you end
Just
up.
a text, that's all you need. Hi, I'm not dead.
My mom definitely sometimes acts like she is me. Like when I'm at like dinner, she'll just order for me, and she's like, "Here, you'll like this." I'm like, "No, Mom, I won't. I really don't." She's like, "No, I'm sure you will." I'm like, "No, I really don't like that." That definitely bothers me sometimes.
My mom tries to make decisions for me, and I hate that.
My mom's so annoying. It's like I'm the middle child, so if I'm fighting with my older sister, she's like, all right, well, you're the younger one, you shouldn't be bothering her. But then if I'm fighting with my younger brother, she's like, well, you're the older one, like, you should know better. It's like, I can never win.
I hate being
Middle
compared to my other brothers.
Yeah,
It's the worst.
that's the worst.
Okay, what is the most difficult or difficult situation is always a bad thing?
I don't think they're always a bad thing because, depending on like how difficult it actually is, you can make it out of like either it ends up being bad or good. You can make it out of being like a learning experience. You can learn from your mistakes if you have mistakes, or learn from like overcoming difficulties.
And I think it makes you stronger as a family too, going through them. Like, you find out that you know who your support system is and you know who you can fall back on, and through that it just makes you even stronger as a unit.
I think also going through the difficult times as a family, if it's with your siblings, your parents, or whoever, that also makes you appreciate the good things. And that's not only with family, that's also with friends and school and everyday life.
And I think it brings your family like closer together, a bigger bond, and you know that you always have them.
What have you learned about your parents as people that surprised you?
I've learned that my parents are always right. You may think that they're not when they're giving you advice, but after the fact, you learn that, like, oh, they were actually right in what they said, and I probably should have listened to what they said. That's what I've learned through my years.
And as you get older, you kind of enter that adult relationship with your parents, and it totally changes the dynamic because it kind of makes you realize, oh yeah, you're right. Like, they weren't born and like became 50. They were teenagers and they went through exactly everything I did because nothing changes. No matter what, when you're 18, 19, you're going through the same stuff. No matter what decade it is, and that having that adult relationship with them changes how you look at what they went through and compare it to yours and use it as guidance, I guess.
I mean, rules aren't always a bad thing, but when they get like too over controlling, that's when you gotta like push back a little bit.
What do you mean by too over controlling?
I mean, like a couple of rules here and there like are never bad because they can help you out in certain situations. Like when they start getting like, I guess, over the top, and like it starts to like I guess like alter how you act, and like you're not acting the way like you want to act, and like you're not like you, then like it gets a little out of hand.
And I think if they're too overbearing, like you're gonna have to end up living on your own. So if they're making all your decisions, once you move out, you're never gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know what's actual life. So you need to learn from your mistakes early, so you don't make them when they count.
I feel like there comes a point where it's like if you're out with your friends, you don't want to be sitting there worrying every single minute, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be like a second leave for curfew, like, oh my god, like, what's gonna happen? So like it just gets to a point where it's just too much.
But what do you think is better? Do you think having structure is better, or do you think having parents that are like, do whatever you want, like, I don't care when you come home, like, you're a teenager, make teenager decisions? Or do you think that you crave that structure to kind of keep you grounded?
I think a little bit of both. Like, not that like you're not like where your parents give you enough freedom that you can do what you want, but like if you step over the line where they're like they trust you enough to do what like go with yourself and do what you want, but once you step over the line, like for them to like pull you back in a little bit. Because you kind of need a balance of good and bad. You can't have all good and all bad in your life. You need a nice little balance in between.
You need to like prove yourself.
Yeah.
Because like they'll set the boundaries if you step out of line. Once you prove yourself, it'll get less and less challenging on you with like the rules and like what you're allowed to do and not allowed
It
to
creates
do.
that trust.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is the biggest misconception about teens and party culture?
I think a lot of people from older generations think that teens nowadays are just like druggies and only
Yeah.
on the weekends just drink and do drugs the entire time, and that's not true. And I just think it gets annoying because that's what all the rumors, and it's not true at all.
Partying and having that ideal of having, like, you guys have all seen the movies of like, okay, well, big huge frat parties and that kind of thing. So do you think that social media and the movies and that kind of thing are almost playing on this whole rumor of putting all teens together in one group?
Like you can have a fun time doing whatever you're doing, like whether you be at a party or whether you're just like hanging out with a bunch of friends. But like once it gets to that point when you just want to like, you shouldn't have to like prove yourself, and that's what everyone thinks they have to do, like for society to like accept them for what they are or like aren't.
I know my sister was talking to me, and she's in a sorority, and she said to me, like, don't ever, like, think what the frat parties are like. They're not what they are like in the movies. And I think it just kind of, like, misconstrues what we think is, like, fun. Even though she said, like, she's never been to, like, a party like that, and she's in a sorority. So it's just kind of, like, they put, like, a different spin on things.
Do you think people have like almost like a tunnel mindset that they almost don't want to think about that other kids or like that's the sorority isn't the whole big huge party house and everyone's wasted and tripping on so many drugs and that kind of whatever the movies have?
I mean, I'm sure everyone wants that, but once they got into that situation, I'm pretty sure it'd be pretty like hectic and everything's like hell bent, and then you're like, is this like really what I wanted? And like is this like this isn't what they put it out to be? And so it's kind of like that, like kind of like unconsciously thinking and like doing something that you want to happen, but truly isn't like what you think should happen.
Do you guys think that laws should change?
No.
Do you think the drinking law should be lowered or higher, or do you think that would make an effect on teens if that would?
I really don't think it would make an effect. Kids are going to do what they do no matter what switches, and I really just don't think a law is going to do anything because there's laws now and kids don't listen to them now, so.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, what it used to be 18 and then they moved to 21. And I've heard discussions of, oh, it doesn't make any sense. If you're 18, you're an adult, why can't you have like a beer at a bar or something? But, I mean, there's 18-year-olds in high school and there's kids that are fully capable of getting their alcohol on the weekends and no problem with the age being 21. I really don't think that it would make much of a difference.
As you're drinking, it may increase your self-esteem, make you feel even more confident, be like, hey, yeah, I can go talk to that girl over there, or hey, yeah, I can go talk to that guy over there. But the next morning, you're going to regret it and be like, I can't believe I did what I just did last night. And you're going to completely regret, not all decisions, but some of them that you made that night, you'll regret. For me, it would depend on my mood. If I was having a good day and it was something I wanted to celebrate about, yeah. But if I knew I was having a bad day, alcohol is going to hinder my choices that I make, and it's also going to make me depressed. So why would I want to add on to my already bad day for something else? Like, it wouldn't be worth it for me.
Like, depending on where you go to college. Like, in DC, I can name 1,001 things you can do on a Friday night instead of going to, I don't know, some deadbeat's house and, like, drinking alcohol underage. Like, I think that you just have to take advantage of your surroundings and kind of squeeze out of them everything you can.
Okay, so do you guys think that teens think that they have a free pass to do whatever they want in high school and in college?
Yeah, they don't think they're gonna get caught. They don't think like, oh yeah, he got caught, but that would never be me. Like, I would never get into that type of situation. If I did, I wouldn't get caught. Like, you always think like you can get away with certain things, and then once you're in the spot, like, and you're getting caught, you like regret it completely.
If everyone thinks that they have this free pass and then something goes wrong, but then,
Kind of like a wake-up call.
yeah, so that's like my free pass that I could do whatever I want. Then how is someone supposed to be making good decisions and bad decisions if they think that they have a free pass that nothing's gonna affect them?
Like under 18, if you do get caught by the police, nothing really happens much. It's just your parents have to come like pick you up. And if people are like, oh, well, my parents already know what I'm doing and who I'm doing it with, then they don't really care. Like if they have to come pick me up.
I think they wanted to test the school policies to see if they would actually have a repercussion, to see if they would actually get caught for doing what they did. And I think in our area, and I'll just generalize it for here, they want to see if they'll actually get tested. They want to see if they will actually get in trouble. And they're going to push that envelope to see if the authorities are going to go, or the authorities will either go with their word and go with what the repercussions are, or will they fall back on them depending on who the kid is.
Well, other than mandatory service, do you think that most people think enough about others?
And a lot of people are self-centered. They think that like that they shouldn't have to like go out there and put themselves out there for someone else who can help themselves. But like hopefully it will hit them. They'll notice like, oh, if I was in that situation, like I would definitely like want the help. So that would like that's what really like pushes me. Like if like you need to like raise money for someone who has cancer, like they obviously like really want you to help out. And if you were in that situation, you'd be like begging for someone else to like pleading for someone to help you out.
What makes you volunteer to do a project versus just doing something fun?
I think it depends on if I'm really passionate about what the community service project is, I'm gonna go all out for it. And even if it's something that like I'm teeter-tottering on, I'm still gonna at least give it a shot and give it my all when I'm in the moment, and then afterwards reflect back and be like, hey, maybe I won't do this again, but at least it was a learning experience.
Yeah, and you're always going to feel better about yourself that at least you're trying something and you're trying to make an impact. As long as
Have you guys ever had an experience when you were really impacted?
So I went to that Penn State thon, the big one. I went to that this year. My cousin was in it, and just seeing how happy she was and what she was doing and how she was explaining everything, like what they do down there, even though we were just spectators, we were just watching, but just watching her like do her thing and like see all the things they did with the like kids, it was just emotional. Same thing when they like hold up the signs that say how much they made and stuff. It was definitely a very emotional, like it just made you feel good just going to watch all these kids do it for them, just standing there on the sidelines watching. It just felt like you were doing something.
I thought it was pretty cool that the other week we had the blood drive come in, and we had to be 17 to donate, but the amount of students at our school that just volunteered like right away, I mean, to save three lives, I think.
3 lives.
Yeah. And I thought it was pretty awesome how literally everyone, at least I thought everyone.
Yeah, if you were
was
eligible
There were
to
even
do it,
younger
everyone
kids.
was
I know
doing it.
I was 16 4 days before the blood drive, and I knew a group of kids that we all went down to one of our teachers asking if we I didn't know how to say the name, asking if we had some type of permission slip from our parents if we could still donate, and she said no, but it was a big she said we couldn't do it, but it was just nice seeing how many kids who were underage that couldn't do it, that they were all willing, and they were like, of course next year we will. Most definitely. So
I mean, it just makes you feel so good about yourself and about what you're doing. And I think that once something affects you, like if you're on the other side and you see someone who's gotten blood transfusions and that's extended their life, it makes you so much more passionate about it, and that's what keeps you going, and that's what keeps you doing it, because you see the good that you're doing for other people, and you see those people in those dire situations that depend on it, and you just want to be there for them and be a support for them. And it just makes you all warm and fuzzy on the inside, doesn't it? Right? You just see like you're glowing. You feel so good about it.
That's all the questions I have.
Anybody have anything else? Any story? Any encouragement for a kid? Okay. How about a kid who really feels completely out of place in high school? Has any of you ever had a time when you walked through the hallway and you just felt, oh, I do not fit here, and you feel so uncomfortable? What could you say to that kind of a kid?
It gets better, and it's going to be tough trudging through those hallways right now, but maybe find a teacher that you're really close with and see if you can come during lunch periods, have a conversation with them, and maybe from that break off, gain a little bit more confidence, and sit at a table you don't normally sit at, and maybe try and converse with someone in that area. It's going to take a little bit more confidence and a little bit more of stepping out of your comfort zone, which will be difficult, and it's kind of an ease yourself into it process, but it'll be worth it. But know that high school is not the defining moment in your life. You truly find out who you are as a person and who you want to surround yourself with as you get older and as you move through the college years or as you move through the working years of your life. So like, don't let high school be your defining moment.
I would say, although it's not always the easiest, but if you could, just enjoy as much as you can. Take everything in, put a smile on your face, even if you don't know anybody. Wave, say hello. I mean, I walk through the hallway sometimes, like mid-class, and just throw hellos out. Anyone, just like, I mean, it changes people's days sometimes. It really does.
And maybe even get active, get involved in your classes. This is what I tell all my freshman orientation students in college. Get active. It may be halfway through the semester, but it's never too late to maybe join a club that has your interest, and through that, you'll also make friends.
Also trying to find the one thing that you do like, or the couple things that you do, because that also boosts up your confidence level too.
And people always think like they're the odd one out, but there's always people like you, and by joining clubs, you're going to meet people with the same interests, and you might be able to hang out with them outside of school, and it'll just make you a happier person, and you'll start enjoying it a lot more.
I definitely think like you might be afraid like because you have an interest and you think nobody else has it, but chances are somebody has the same interest, but they're just as scared because they don't think anybody has it.
Yeah, definitely. And you can even throw yourself into planning for your future. You know, just like look for the light at the end of the tunnel and surround yourself with good people. But I think that you don't know what impact you have on others. I think a small thing could be when you're just walking through the hallway saying hi to someone, you have no idea what that person's day has been like, and that hi could be a defining moment for them. And that could be like, all right, you know what? There's someone out there in this world who gives a small, you know what I mean? Like there's something else. There's, you know, you can move forward from that. And for some people that could be all they need, is they need that one, you know what I mean? They just be like, okay, yeah, reassurance. There's people out there who still care about people, and not everyone is negative, and you just have to, you know, try and be that person for other people. Be someone's light at the end of their tunnel.